is the day when the president decides whether or not we go through an ECQ, a GCQ, or a combination of both. I'm Cito Beltran, and you are watching the program Agenda on Signal TV Channel 8 and 250 and the live Facebook platform of One News PH. Okay, and for the news, for those of you who can't get the newspapers in the provinces, here are the headlines of the Philippine Star. First in the headlines, President Rodrigo Duterte is expected to decide today on the fate of the areas under enhanced community quarantine. The ECQ, which was first implemented in March 17, is set to last until this Friday, May 15, after being extended twice. According to presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, the Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases, or IATF, is set to discuss today whether they will retain the current protocol or relax the restrictions. Currently, the areas under ECQ are Metro Manila, Calabar Zone, Central Luzon, except for Aurora, the provinces of Pangasinan, Benguet, Albay, Iloilo, Cebu, and the cities of Bacolod, Zamboanga, and Davao. The IATF spokesperson also clarified that the August 24 date set by the DepEd, or Department of Education, is based on the assumption that the areas covered have transitioned from ECQ to GCQ. Otherwise, the DepEd is expected to implement specific health-related guidelines or requirements. Lastly, the department, and then we have from the Manila Electric Company, or Meralco, is facing power interruption issues in various areas nationwide as Filipino households continue to use more power during this time of quarantine during summer. The company has reported at least 52 power lines tripped, although most have been temporary outages only, but hundreds of thousands of customers have since been affected. Later on the show, we will talk to Meralco spokesperson Joe Zaldarriaga to get the lowdown on the matter. Lastly, the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, continues its search for COVID-19 treatments. First was the virgin coconut oil, and now they have added Lagundi and Tawa-Tawa to their list of potential treatments and research. All three products show antiviral properties, according to DOST Chief Fortunato de la Peña, and aside from doing their own research, the agency has issued calls for proposals on the studies of Lagundi and Tawa-Tawa from others. Okay, now let's go to our first interview for the day. We're in a bit of a rush here because it seems that everyone's on the move. Our first guest is a survivor. He's not just the regular survivor story. He's the MMDA General Manager. And let's call in our friend, GM Jojo Garcia. GM, are you there? Okay, we will check. I don't know if the connection is there because today they're meeting again at the MMDA. I think they're discussing fine-tuning their proposal with for President Duterte regarding the decision on whether it's going to be ECQ, GCQ, or a combination. In the meantime, let's shift to our other important guests. We have Dr. MINGUITA PADILLA. She is a known ophthalmologist, but at the moment, she's not doing that. She's actually the consultant for the private sector program or project, the antibody rapid test. We have Dr. MINGUITA PADILLA. Doctora, are you there? Okay, we are not, we don't seem to have an audio.
No, I'm okay now.
Okay, there, okay.
I was muted.
Yeah, we're all learning this new system. Okay, MINGUITA, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How have you been?
Very busy, busier than usual, and still healthy, and thank God for that. Huh?
Okay, that's great to know because I mean you are no longer working in the safety or confines of your clinic. You are now going outdoors and you are in the middle of the war zone. Now, I have to ask a question that a lot of people are asking. What is an ophthalmologist doing testing in places like Sampaloc, Tondo? How did you get into this situation, Mingita?
Well, thank you for that question, Sito. But first of all, before I became an ophthalmologist, I was a physician, a general practitioner. An
Mm-hmm.
ophthalmologist is a physician who decides to specialize in the surgery and treatment of eye diseases. Okay,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
microbiology is part of medicine. And if you followed my career, I was also in PhilHealth for a year and 3 months. And if you look at my curriculum, my grades in med school, the only subject where I got a flat one was public health. It
Okay.
is my passion. It is my
Yeah.
passion, not ophthalmology. But
Okay.
God leads you in strange ways. But what happened here was, I've always been involved in public health, even if I'm an ophthalmologist, okay,
Okay.
in many ways.
You do know why I had to ask that question because
Yes,
people
yes,
think in terms of boxes and
yes,
and
yes, yeah,
specializations and they're going like what you doing there, but good that you're
yeah.
answering it.
Yeah, it's microbiology. And for everybody now, we are all students of this virus because it's new. It's new,
Okay.
so we're all studying it. And as physicians, I think we have a responsibility to study it. And you know that one of the symptoms now that they've found is conjunctivitis,
Are
and
you
they found that
serious?
seriously. And in fact, usually, if you have conjunctivitis, it's usually in the more advanced stages. And not only that, Sito, it can live longer in the conjunctiva than it does in the mouth than the throat. So sometimes they've had patients na wala na dito, no more in the nose, but they're still in the conjunctiva and they're viable. They can still contaminate.
No, no,
Therefore, it's very
you
important.
know what? You know what, Mingita, you're
Yeah.
alarming me because
No,
or you're scaring me because
yeah,
no, seriously,
yeah.
a mayor, a friend of mine, we'd
Mhm.
been exchanging notes, and I was telling him, you better look into all of those reported cases of SARI or severe acute respiratory infections in your
Yeah,
area, because I have a
yeah,
sneaky suspicion that all those cases of pneumonia may have been COVID, but we never had the test kits, we
yeah.
never had the
Correct,
information. Then he goes
correct.
and tells me, Sito, you know what makes matters worse? I said, what? I've got sore eyes.
Or
And
eyes.
that's
Correct.
conjunctivitis, right?
Yes, correct, correct. In fact, a lot of if you look at the Chinese data, you know who the doctors were who died?
The-
Ophthalmologists,
yeah,
anesthesiologists, and dentists. The first guy who sounded the alarm was an
ophthalmologist.
ophthalmologist. Okay, now people don't know so many things. That's why all of us have to be concerned. Now, it's
Mhm.
not because we are all physicians here and we're all students, we're lifelong students of medicine. Now, I had to do what I had to do because knowing so many things that I do, no? I have my
Yeah.
ear in so many places, no? And I have a lot of connections. I could see that we had a major shortage of test kits, of
Mhm.
testing capacity for RT-PCR, okay, which is the nose swab, which
Okay.
actually isolates the virus. We could see that very early on, no? And so we said we have to find an alternative. We cannot just not do anything. Then these rapid antibody testing kits were starting to be talked about. And a group, I won't anymore mention the businessman, not Joey Concepcion, another big businessman, they sent me some kits to study.
No,
Yeah,
Mingita, please.
yeah,
We have no
yeah.
problems you mentioning names as long as they're doing
Okay.
good and they should
Yeah, they're
be
doing good.
recognized.
They're, they're doing very good. It was Ricky Razon.
Okay.
His people sent me some kits to study, the literature, the actual kits. And, because I'm trusted by some of his people know me. So I
Mm.
studied them and I recommended HealGen. I said, don't use this other kit, use HealGen because it tests both the IgG and the IgM. The IgM is the antibody that first attacks the virus. It signifies if you have it, it's more or less active. There's the
Okay.
virus there. The IgG is the immunoglobulin of recovery. Okay, once you
Okay.
have that, that means you've had the disease. In all probability, you had a disease and you are now recovering or have recovered. So these are
Mhm.
indications. Although they don't find the real virus, they find the soldiers that indicate the virus is there or has been there. Okay,
Okay.
so I studied the kits and I recommended. And mabuti na lang I recommended that because it turns out it's one of the best kits there are. Okay, or there
Okay.
is. And it's a U.S. trademark made in China, and we're having a hard time now getting it because
Mhm.
the U.S. is eating it up. Okay,
Yeah.
they're hoarding it. So that's how I got involved. Then I even made a video asking government. That was March 27. A video asking government to please allow rapid test kits to get into the allowed into the country,
Mm.
without knowing that Joey Concepcion pala, his group was also lobbying for the same thing. So it's divine intervention. Then his wife saw my video wherein I used the toys of my nephew, the Legos,
Yeah.
to depict what antibodies are. And the
Yeah.
wife saw it, showed it to Joey. Go Negocia contacted me. Then
Mhm.
on sometime early April, I was their guest, and the rest is history. So we put up this Project Arc,
Okay.
and that's what happened, no? And for
Okay.
the private
So
sector,
yeah. So now you're on the ground.
yes,
You've done tests in Sampaloc and in Tondo. What
and
are you discovering as a physician?
well, first of all, I'm not physically in Tondo. No,
Yeah.
we are actually doing. We're guiding them remotely right now. No,
Okay.
although I'm going to be doing the testing in Makati area. No,
Okay.
personally. No?
Mm.
In Antipolo, we also started testing already. We're finding that um, we have still a lot of IgM positives on the ground. There was an article today in the newspaper wherein Mayor Isko Moreno said they tested about 8,000 people already in Manila. He was so happy with the results in Sampaloc. Out of 800 plus, no, in Tondo, we out of 1,400, he had 109 IgM positives. This means there's a great possibility these people are still actively infected. So
Okay,
right
wait a
away,
minute. Just a
yeah,
clarification, Mingita. And forgive
yes,
me. I'm so
yeah,
poor at abbreviations.
yes.
IgG is positive. IgM is
Ah,
antibody, or
no,
the
no, no.
other way.
Okay, IgM is a antibody that indicates most likely or possibly active infection.
Okay,
IgM.
IgM
May,
is positive.
may
Okay,
sakit. May
may
sakit.
sakit.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
IgG is recovered. Gumaling.
Gumagaling.
O gumaling na or
Okay,
gumaling na o gumagaling. So magadaling intindihin yon.
okay. So GG at saka M lang.
Oo,
Okay,
M is may sakit, G is gumaling. Okay? O
okay.
gumagaling. So
Oh.
IgM, so in 8,000 people they tested. So Isko Moreno continued testing in several districts of Manila. And so
Mm.
far, as of Saturday, they already tested, according to the newspaper article, and I think we're going to get feedback today from him. Out of 8,000, there were 475 IgM. So imagine that. Even if you say there are false positives, because there is no such thing as a perfect kit, a perfect test. Even the PCR can miss one third of cases, even if in a symptomatic person.
Well,
Okay,
that's
so
so
the gold
true
standard,
because they
yeah,
tested 200 passengers in a flight to Davao and one squeaked through na positive. It's in the papers now na may
yeah. So
nakalusot
my
na
point
isang
is,
positive. Oh,
yeah. So it's not really no. There's no such thing as a perfect test. So if you people are looking for one, it doesn't exist. Okay,
okay.
and a doctor. That's why a doctor is always necessary to analyze the results because you never analyze a test. You analyze a patient, a person, everything
Okay.
put together. No? So
Mm.
in Manila, for example, there were out of 8,475 IgMs. So all these people, based on our protocol that we made, and I made this protocol in consultation with infectious disease specialists, with former secretaries of health, Esperanza
Mm.
Cabral, Manulet Tairit, and infectious disease specialist Jen Solante. I wrote it up, but I consulted people. That's how it is naman in med school, in medicine,
Yeah.
no? So,
Okay.
so 475. Sabihin mo na lang that 96% specific lang itong kit na to that we use. That's what we're finding. 96% of those are true positives, most likely. So if we
Okay.
were not able, so Mayor Oscar Moreno was able to identify these 475 or 495, sabihin mo na lang 475 ang totoo, isolate them and have them swabbed. You took them out of the community,
Yeah.
quarantined them, and you saved a lot of other people from getting infected. And that's what we're doing now, Sito.
Okay.
We're going to the communities and doing that.
You know what? We're no longer concerned with, and I'm saying this
Again,
we're not as concerned with the IgM
uh-uh.
as many are paranoid about the asymptomatic.
Well, no, the IgMs, most of them are asymptomatic. You
Huh?
see, that's the beauty of this that we're doing. The ones who get to the hospitals are the ones with symptoms, okay? That's why
Okay.
they're brought to the hospitals. But we
Malala na
know,
yun.
malala, medyo moderate to severe. But wait,
Oh.
Can we open the door? Wait. But we all know, sorry, I'm getting a low signal. We all know, based on experience, China, 80% of the people who got COVID are either asymptomatic, no symptoms, or very mildly symptomatic.
Yeah.
Italy, 71%, this is based on scientific papers, no?
Mm.
71% were either asymptomatic or mildly symptomatic. So that's why we are doing what we're doing, because we need to find them in the communities. Maganda yung sinabi ni
Based on what you said and based on
asymptomatic.
on the DOH declaration, we are in the same ballpark because the DOH said 87.2% of the patients in the Philippines are mild and
Or
11.8% are asymptomatic.
so that's what we're doing now. And many of the people that we've actually found, because we have a scientific protocol, it's called targeted testing. When you
Okay.
do targeted testing, we use there's a method to the madness. It's not just we test anybody, no.
Mm.
The targeted testing means, who do you test in the community? One, whether you're symptomatic or asymptomatic, if you have been exposed to a confirmed COVID patient in close contact, like household, no,
Oh.
or a probable COVID, somebody who's still waiting for the results of their swab, we test you. If you
Mm.
are symptomatic, no, regardless of whether you've been exposed or not, if you show the symptoms of COVID, even mild, we test you. If you
Mm.
are a high risk patient, the high risk,
Yeah.
diabetics, hypertensive, we test you. If you're a frontliner, why do we test you? One is you are the one going out into the field all the time, the doctors, the policemen, the delivery boys, the sales girls who are still going to work, and you're also necessary to restart the economy. These are the priorities. And this is what Manila did. They followed our protocol. This is what Antipolo did. They followed our protocol. And we're going to start testing in Pasig, I think in Makati, hopefully next week. No? Now, they found that many of these, or almost all of the IgMs that they found, the presumably active, were asymptomatic or mildly symptomatic. Okay? So
Okay.
they were not thinking of COVID. Sipon-sipon, konting ubo, little cough. This is what the world is telling us. That's why this disease is a little treacherous. It's rather treacherous because those who were
Is it, sorry, Mingita, is
sure.
it treacherous or is it overrated? Kasi,
Okay.
when
Yeah.
all the information came out,
Yeah.
all the powers and China and America and Italy, they were all saying this is, this will kill you instantly.
No, 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 no. On the contrary,
And now,
what
hindi.
what we're finding, and use at least the WHO, it was, I think, the WHO said that, I think, 87%, diba, are mildly symptomatic and
Mm.
11% are symptomatic. That's the truth, no. But the thing about this virus, the reason why it's good news and bad news. Good news is that most of us who get it survive, and we
Mhm.
are either mildly symptomatic or asymptomatic. But I think the asymptomatics are not really asymptomatic. It's just that their symptoms are so mild that they don't notice it. Okay.
Okay.
But then the treachery part is that those who have very mild symptoms or asymptomatic, the strong, the young, the strong, no, it's not so much the age, it's the absence of comorbidities, the absence of high risk factors. No? If you are a strong person without any problems and you get it, you can easily pass it on to somebody who's vulnerable,
Okay.
okay? Who doesn't know you have it because your symptoms are very mild or none at all as far as
Yeah.
they're concerned. That is the treachery part. That's why it's
Mm.
the older and the weaker who are
Yeah.
getting decimated, no?
Okay.
That's it. So there's good news and there's bad news, no? There's
Okay.
good news and
You
bad
know, they're about to decide the extension of the quarantine,
news.
and
Mm-mm.
the general feeling is another 2 weeks. Kung sigurado na talaga tayo,
Yeah.
if it's a sure deal, okay, let's all go for it. Or at least at 60% of the population to 70% in Metro Manila are thinking that. Of course, they won't say that in the depressed areas, in the informal settler areas. But here's the thing. Uh, I wrote in my column today, I said more medicines, not quarantine.
Mm.
And because, I'm not a physician, but I'm just really absorbing all of the traditional information and the non-traditional contradictory views from
Yeah.
all practitioners. And
Mm-hmm.
and what's emerging right now is that number one, you can test and you can test and you can test. But
Yes.
as long as there is one carrier that manages to get around, everyone
Mhm.
we test can get contaminated. Number two, vaccines, contrary to all the media hype from the West, is not going to come until 2 to 5 years from now. And we
I
have that from our from manufacturers, from the pharmaceutical, who are saying 2 to 5 years. Now, in
who
the meantime, we can't keep people inside
we cannot.
their homes for 2 to 5 years. So
Mm.
the thought is, what about just ramping up what we already know? I mean, you're the doctor. You
Yeah.
guys have been trying, and in the beginning, no one wanted to talk about it. But
Yeah.
now I have doctor friends who are telling me we tried
Yeah.
hydroxychloroquine,
Yeah.
we tried this, we tried that.
Azithromycin. Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
Azithromycin, yeah,
Yeah. And then there are many antiviral drugs now. Avigan is here, no?
yeah.
And then the breathing techniques that you don't have pala to intubate everybody, no?
Yeah, and what worries me is we might quarantine too much and to
Yes.
the point that our own immunities, those of us who are still healthy,
Will go down.
will go down.
Yeah.
And so why not ramp up our stocks of medicine?
Okay. Can
Go
I
for
answer you?
testing and ramp up. Please go ahead.
Okay. Definitely, ako, okay, one of the reasons we're doing this antibody testing, despite all the resistance before to so many people, no? But now you see, it's turning out we're getting better kits with higher sensitivity and specificity. We're doing this to find them in the communities and lessen the risk of exposing the healthy to those who are sick. And we've done that. We're doing it now, okay? So
Hmm.
testing, yes. But again, there's no 100% test, okay? No, none, okay? Even the gold standards are not gold. They're
Okay.
definitely not gold. Now, second, I agree that we cannot keep people in quarantine for so long because they're going to die from the quarantine. No,
Hmm.
even the senior citizens, they're developing depression, mental health issues, and people cannot go out and go into the sun and walk around and exercise.
Mhm.
Sito, I agree with you because if we do, I think some cities they're just so afraid. The mayors are just so afraid because they don't know what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Now, the best thing to do is gradually open up the economy. This is my opinion based on everything I've read, everything I've seen. Gradually open up the community, the economy in places where you feel that you can instill discipline, okay? Where the number of cases are not going up so much every day. Do not base it on the absolute number of cases, but on the rate of increase of the cases. Like Makati, for example, I'm watching it. Halos wala na naman masyadong new cases. It's
Mm.
practically flat. So why
Mm.
will you make the people suffer more? Because if they and then the government, I'm really sorry to say, they're trying their best, but the money is not getting to the people.
Mhm.
My helpers at home are telling me that their relatives are not getting the amelioration.
Yeah.
Kawawa, they're really kawawa, and we
You,
cannot
you
keep
know,
giving these people kawawa. Everybody's having donor fatigue
you
also.
said something
Yeah,
that may be a turning point. You said community and economy. I
yes,
think when you make it a choice between health and economy, it leaves a very bad taste because
no,
I mean,
mm,
businessmen are saying open the economy.
yeah,
Parang nagiging, it's about money.
no,
But
no,
what if we just begin with opening up the community? Because like Joey Concepcion is saying, barangays, barangay
yes,
level.
correct,
Maybe
correct,
we should just open up the barangays. People can walk around, move around
correct,
in their
correct,
community first, and let's
correct.
see what happens. Because I think the mistake of places like Germany, Korea, Seoul, Korea is they opened up the economy,
Right
so they
away.
had people going to bars. So now one idiot contaminated 23 people in 5 bars.
I
Uh,
know, I know.
and you have problems in Germany. So I think you said the
Yeah.
magic word.
No,
Open it
yeah.
up to
The
community.
community. Yeah, let's do it by community. It's unfair. Tama ka, Sito.
Mm.
Like in our village, we're suffering because they're giving us the rules applicable to areas where there's no discipline, where the cases are higher. Whereas kami, there's no COVID anymore in our
Because
place.
the barangay captain is scared shitless that she might or he might
He
get
might
sued or filed
Yes, by
charges
the
again.
DILG, by the
Yeah.
DILG. But they should understand there has to be a scientific approach to everything. And
Mhm.
by doing this to everybody the same way, you are needlessly punishing people who should not be punished. Now, let's say Makati, Barangay San Lorenzo, for
Mm.
example, there are commercial centers, diba? There's SM. That's open na. Their groceries open, no?
Mhm.
Um, don't open the bars, don't open the entertainment areas, but allow people to go out more freely, but wearing masks. Okay, we have
Mhm.
to make it. May have to make this very clear, Sito. Even among those who test IgG positive, that's gumaling na. We always tell them you cannot go around like you're Superman. Okay,
Mhm.
you have to still practice the precautions, meaning mask
Valid
wearing.
point,
Yes,
because
mask wearing.
even if you have the antibodies, your immune system may crash from several
Others,
other
yeah.
infections, and then you get hit.
Hindi lang yon. It's a new virus, no? Based
Mm.
on based on conventional medical knowledge, it's a virus. So there will be some immunity, definitely, no?
Mhm.
The SARS CoV-1, this is SARS CoV-2, it rendered immunity. And now there are articles coming out from New York in many studies in hospitals saying that these antibodies are actually neutralizing antibodies, meaning they actually neutralize the virus, which is good.
Mm.
Pinapatay niya yung virus, which is what we expect, okay? But
Mm.
we are also saying we don't know to what extent. Is it full immunity? And we don't know how long. Therefore, you still have to be careful because even if you're immune, what if you get it in your nose? You don't
Mm.
get sick, but you sneeze and
Mhm.
your saliva, you give it to somebody else. So
You're a carrier.
everyone, you're a carrier. Everyone has to be careful. Everyone has to still act as though everyone else might be infected. But for heaven's sake, it doesn't mean you have to stay in your house and lock up.
Okay.
That's what I was
So
saying.
we
Yeah.
agree in the open, let's open at the community level, not in the
Gradually.
economy level first. Okay. Now, what
Yeah.
about my first, my earlier position?
Medicine.
Ramping up the medicines, the
Yeah.
protocol, the treatment options. Kasi
Yeah.
parang kakapaan kayo. You guys are feeling yourselves around. Oh, I don't
Uh,
want to get sued. I don't want to get
no, no,
reported, but I
no,
also don't want my patient to die.
no.
If we're going to open the community, people, there will be cases, and we need to be prepared for the
Okay.
cases.
Actually, that is one of the things. In the States, you know what the Secretary of Health did?
Mhm.
They issued I don't know how to call it, like a administrative order that people who are acting in good faith using experimental, drug regimens like what we're doing cannot be sued.
Mhm.
And we should have something like that because this is not ordinary times. We are not being. In fact, I think the Philippines has already signed an agreement with the WHO. This unity testing, they're willing to be guinea pigs for whatever test. Now,
Yeah.
so that I don't want to use the word guinea pigs, but this is not just testing for the sake of testing. The medicines one we're using have shown that there is benefit. So now Philippines is part of this already, Sito. We're part of this already. We're allowed to use certain protocols for
Mhm.
patients because these protocols have been shown to work. Your azithromycin, your hydroxychloroquine,
Mhm.
your Avigan. We already part of this. So it's there. It's there.
Mhm.
In fact, doctors are now better. Parang there's less panic among the
Yeah.
medical community. And there's less panic and because there's more knowledge. But you
Mhm.
cannot say, oh, we have to wait. This is the problem. Our Universal Healthcare Act, and I really helped pass it, but there are some provisions there which are not consistent with this emergency situation.
What
That's
do you
why we
mean?
have, because it says there before you can even use any medicine, before you can even use any vaccine, it has to pass. It just has to have clinical trials must be finished. There must be post marketing already. That's
Mhm.
impossible. That takes about
Mhm.
2 to 3 years. We don't have that time. So
And
that
that's
has
in
to
the
be
law.
that's in the law, but you see, that's for ordinary times.
Yeah.
Now the Bayanihan Hilas One Act, I believe, has sort of overturned that or superseded
Yeah,
that.
because I remember the FDA saying, or the FDA director
Mm.
saying, that if it has been, if a excuse me, if a medicine has been
Yeah,
approved in a superior
or
source, that's the word I remember.
a superior, a good
Superior,
source, a
good
reliable
source.
source.
Then
Okay.
they will take it as valid in the
Yes,
Philippines
that's what's
based on
happening now. Yeah.
emergency. Yeah.
Yes, but then that's for the FDA. It's for the testing kits. That's different from the protocols because what's happening now is that the reason the DOH is giving for them not spending any money on these antibody test kits is that their health technology assessment group council refuses to give it the go signal. But that's part of the Universal Healthcare Act. It's not part of the Bayanihan Hilas one. So they're
Hmm.
using the UHC as the barrier towards funding.
Hmm.
Okay? So is this relevant at this time? I think it's going to be a barrier, even
Mhm.
for vaccines in the near future. About vaccine, that's why I think we should revisit that. And I think the Senate and the House should look at the Bayanihan Hilas 1 Act and make sure, if they have to amend it, that it contains provisions which will not prevent our doctors from doing things they have to do.
Well,
Because,
yeah.
yeah, they'll be afraid, no?
Yeah, well, clearly you're taking notes, studying the disease, the
Yeah,
virus, the treatment options, the testing systems, and maybe now you should really make a list of everything of this sort so that it can be taken up in Congress, not as an
yeah.
attack against the DOH, but
No,
to correct our system. Because,
yeah,
I in a dark, morbid way, I think this COVID-19 basically exposed
yeah,
everything that we are doing wrong,
I
and we
agree.
now have to correct all of it.
I agree. I agree. I mean, we're both very, I think, both of us have very strong faith. And I really
Mm.
believe this happened for so many reasons. And things are being exposed. Things that
Yeah.
should be exposed are being exposed. Even the true nature of people is being exposed.
Mhm.
You know, those who want to help, those who want to take advantage, it's coming out, no? But anyway, going back to vaccines, I have a niece, daughter of my sister, no? who's with Pfizer, and they have started clinical trials of their vaccines in many areas, and then they're working with Germany. I'm not a naysayer. I don't think it'll take 2 years or 5 years. No, I think it'll be shorter than that. It's
Mhm.
happened before. We've been able to come up with vaccines earlier, no, like H1N1. Right away, few months may vaccine na eh. So the effort is frenzied, no? About 50 vaccine trials happening around the world, no? So I think there will be a vaccine. However,
Well,
and it's sooner
yeah.
than later, sooner than
However,
later. However, we cannot wait for the vaccine, as you said.
exactly.
No?
I
And we
think.
have to live. We have to start living our lives without so much fear. No, remembering that 80% or more are about either mildly symptomatic or asymptomatic. Let's continue to protect our vulnerable. Let's continue to protect the people with high risks.
And that's
Diabetes.
why,
Yeah.
I am hiding indoors, because I am a senior citizen with
With
triple comorbidity. So
okay,
I've
you
got
work
a
from
bullseye on my back.
correct. You
Okay.
work from home. You work from home.
Yeah.
See?
In
And
any
don't
case, yeah. In any case, Mingita, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to end it here. But I promise, I would like to have you back again on the show. I
yes,
just have such a long lineup today
I
of
know. I
guests,
can
and
imagine.
thank you very much. And please stay safe, stay strong, and stay healthy. And God bless you, Mingita.
You too, Sito. Same to you and to
Okay.
everyone there. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you, Doctora Minguita Padilla, for all of those eye-opening information, and also for clarification on certain things. We will go for a quick break, and when we return, we go to the rest of our lineup, because we've got quite a lineup for today. Okay, you're back here on Agenda, and you are watching us via Channel 8 and Channel 250 of Signal TV and the Facebook platform of One News PH that's streaming this program live. Now, for those of you who may have missed part of it or want to watch episodes later or replays, we have it in the middle of in the midday and in the evening as well. Okay, now let's go to our next resource person we have on the line. As I mentioned earlier, a survivor of COVID-19, the General Manager of Metro Manila Development Authority. Mukhang nagbi-Beatles hairstyle ka, Sera. Kamusta ba?
Hi, good morning, Sir Sito. Good morning po to all watching and listening. Talagang wala pong marunong maggupit. Yung misis ko, wala ho akong tiwala. Gupitan ako eh.
Naninibago ako. Nakabigote ka na at lahat.
Opo eh.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
GM, I know you have quite a busy day. Quick questions lang. Nagkabotohan yata, nagka-meeting pero with the mayors, Metro Manila Council, and apparently 8 voted in favor, or majority voted in favor of extending the ECQ, and a smaller group voted in GCQ. Ngayon, ang sabi sa akin, meron pa raw kasunod na botohan.
Okay, ganito Sir Sito. I just want to clear with everybody. Unang-una, may lumabas sa social media ng mga boto na 10-5, ganyan.
Yeah.
It's kasi 17 lahat yan, bakit 15 lang yan? So it's not really accurate, wala pong nag-abstain doon. So I just want na talagang kami, if ever, as a whole kami lagi. We treat NCR as one big family.
Okay.
Sa leadership ni Chairman Lim, hindi ko kami nagkakaproblema. Boses ng isa, boses ng lahat dyan. So, nung nung Saturday, nagkaroon tayo ng napakahabang meeting. It took us more than 4 hours. And I also want to remind everyone, nung lumabas social media again, na yung lumang picture namin ang ginamit, at sinabing wala kaming physical distancing. Kaya talagang ang layo po ng physical distancing namin noon. Nasa Pampanga nga ako during that time. At via conference, virtual meeting. So yung medyo malisyoso yung picture na yon, luma po yun, hindi po yun nung Saturday.
Okay.
So again, for 4.5 hours, Sir Sito, kaya kami tumagal ng gano'n, is hinimay kasi namin yung mga senaryo. Kaya, kumbaga, we invited a health expert, ang DOH and WHO, and then of course, ang PNP, si General Elisar and General Sinas of NCRPO, in-invite din namin para makita namin kung paano yung naging enforcement. So, unang-una, I want to clear with everyone, dito po sa sitwasyon natin yan, wala pong tamang desisyon. There's no such thing as a perfect decision. Wherever you go, may pros and cons. Either it's the economic side or health issues. So talagang napakahirap po dito. Ang desisyon lang po ang magiging tamang desisyon dito is mag-desisyon tayo ano dapat gawin. Pero there will be no right decision. I want to be clear with everyone about this. So even the mayors, kaya kami humaba, nag-usap-usap talaga ano mga opinion bawat isa. So ngayon, sabi nga, yung ating mga business districts, nakausap naman yung mga business sectors, talagang hirap na. Hindi na kayang habaan pa ang ECQ. Kumbaga, you need to weigh it. Baka magsara yung mga kumpanya, magkaroon ng layoff. Sa long term, baka lalong magutom ang tao. Pagdating naman sa health expert, of course, they need to control the virus. So, kailangan natin mag-ECQ. So, yan, lahat yan, wini-weigh natin. Even the PNP, may GCQ, may ECQ. Siyempre, enforcement, mas madali ang ECQ. Kasi mas konti ang exempted lumabas ng bahay. Pagka GCQ yan, ang dami ng exempted, lahat yan i-check mo. Magkaka-traffic tayo lalo.
Correct.
So ngayon, ano ba itong tatlong nakikita nating options na pwede? Of course, number 1, yung ECQ, which ang maximum siguro talaga kaya is 2 weeks na lang. Hindi na talaga kaya ng local government, hindi na kaya ng national government. Number 2, kung GCQ naman, anong klaseng GCQ? Kasi kailangan ang mga NCR mayors natin nagkakaisa sa mga local ordinance. Ano ibig sabihin yan? Let's say sa curfew, hindi pwedeng 8 o'clock yung isa 10 o'clock. Nilipat lang yan . More or less ang NCR. Unlike sabi nga ni General Elizar, sa La Union may GCQ na tayo. Isang buong probinsya naka-GCQ, yung katabing probinsya ECQ like Pangasinan. Talaga pagdating ng Pangasinan ko, konti tao, konti sasakyan, pagtawid mo ng border, madaming sasakyan, madaming tao. But still, it's easier to control a province kasi yung center of commerce nila and business, malalayong lugar. Kumbaga layo-layo yung mga towns nila. Unlike in Metro Manila, let's say ang Makati, i-lift mo, hindi mo lahat na nagtatrabaho dyan taga Makati. No? Yung iba taga Taguig, Mandaluyong, Quezon City, San Juan, etc. No? So hindi talaga pwede yung gano'n na iba-iba ang Metro Manila. Kailangan isa lang.
Okay,
So gano'n, meron tayong tinatawag na third option kami, yung tinatawag naming hybrid, no? Modified GCQ. Ano ba to? Let's say sa isang city, you have 25 barangays. No? Yung tatlo medyo critical, madaming COVID-19 or madaming bagong COVID, yun na lang ang i-lockdown natin. The remaining of the barangays na kita, alam natin kaya naman i-control, buksan natin para may konting hanap buhay, may konting ekonomiya. No? Sabi nga nila, ano pagkakaiba niyan? Kung yung Makati, GCQ mo, ECQ mo Taguig, magkatabi, di just the same. No, it's not the same. Kasi pag barangay level, 5 to 10,000 ang lang ang population yan. Mas madaling i-control. Kaya nating i-manage pag
At
maliit.
saka, GM, pasensya na, no? Sisingit lang ako. It's interesting na sinasabi mo yan kasi kakakausap ko lang kay Doktora MINGUITA Padilla and napag-usapan namin yung salitang community. Kasi total, community quarantine tayo. Ang pakawala natin, yung community. Hindi yung, kasi pag sinabi mong economy, when we start talking economy, people start making the equation, life versus money. Total, sinasabi nyo na kung good ang isang barangay, yun ang pabayaan yung mga tao dun sa barangay na yun gumala within the barangay. Or pwede bang magtawiran yung mga barangay?
Yun nga po. No? Kung magla-lockdown tayo, let's say ng barangay lang, kung let's say tatlong barangay, hindi sila pwede lumabas o may pumasok doon.
Okay.
No? But the remaining of the GCQ, pwede ka na magtawiran eh. Kasi nga, pero except, let's say, Quezon City, ang isang barangay dyan, merong population na 200,000. You cannot lock down 200,000 people. So, pipili ka lang ng zone kung saan yung, kumbaga, saan yung medyo madami na mga na COVID eh, no? Now, we should remember, no, ang NCR po, siya ang center ngayon ng COVID. Siya ang center, no, ang NCR. Ang problema natin, ang NCR din, ang center ng economy natin, ng business district, no? So it's really hard to weigh. No? Kaya nga sinasabi namin, we leave it up sa wisdom ng IATF, whatever decision that they will do, definitely the mayors will follow. And I can assure you, all the mayors of NCR are ready, whatever decision that
Okay.
will be. Diba?
So yung version pala ninyo, pabayaan yung mga healthy communities gumala, yung mga may infection, lockdown.
But
Yung
still,
version namin, pagbayaan muna yung tao within the community gumala bago sila mangapit bahay. Kasi kung susundin namin yung if we follow your suggestion, GM, we open up except selected zones or barangays that are infected. Kakayanin ba natin kagad? Baka mabulunan kayong lahat dyan sa traffic kasi ngayon pa lang nasishock na ang tao sa traffic.
Okay, Sir Chito, ganito yan eh, no? First, baka akala natin, pag nilift ang ECQ, we will be back to normal. No, definitely not. No, there's a new normal. Merong guidelines ang DOH eh. Ano yun? Yung physical distancing, kailangan nakamask ka, i-engage yung work from home, no? Kaya katingin namin kahit mag-GCQ yan, less than 50% pa rin ang lalabas.
Correct.
No? So ngayon, yung ating public utility vehicles, kalahati din lang ang laman yan. No? That's why sabi nga ng DOT, we had a meeting yesterday and the other day, no? Inaayos na natin yung mga ruta niyan. This is the right time, no? Na ayusin talaga yung mga ruta. Kaya nga, sabi nga ni Chairman Delgra, ibabaguhin na yung mga ruta. Like for example, yung EDSA, isang ruta lang ang EDSA. Kumbaga ang EDSA, connector na lang. Hindi na daanan ng lahat ng bus. Ano? May mga ganyan eh. So this is the right time. No?
Yeah.
Ang sa atin lang, kailangan matandaan ng tao na hindi ito yung normal natin na last year na kahit saan pwede ka, mag-party ka. Hindi pa rin eh. May limitation pa rin ng GCQ natin eh. Ang crowd ata is hanggang 4 lang. Maglalabas ng guidelines ang IATF, no? Which we
Okay.
need to follow. We should always remember, Sir Sito, ilang beses natin yung pinag-usapan, ano? Na anything guidelines o batas na ilabas, hindi yan nilabas para lusutan eh. Madami kasi
Yeah.
tayong kababayan, ilalabas pa lang yung isang batas, nag-iisip na ng way paano makakalusot o makakaisa eh. I always tell everyone, ano, ang kalaban natin dito yung COVID-19. Baka once, twice, makaisa ka sa checkpoint or what. Pero pag ikaw ang nakahawa ng COVID, tayo ang naisa ng COVID eh. We should remember no, that virus doesn't move. It doesn't walk, it doesn't run. Ang naglalakad is yung tao, yung carrier. So you need to limit yung pakikipag-usap mo, yung physical na pagdidikit ng mga tao, di ba? So you need to limit the movements of the people so that the virus will stop.
Yeah.
Kasi tandaan natin, may lifespan siya, 14, 21 days. So ibig sabihin, kung nakaka-13th day na ako, lumabas ako, may nawa, another 14 days na naman yan.
Maiba lang ako, GM. Ikaw ba, magaling ka na ba? Kasi nagtatrabaho ka na naman kaagad dyan. Baka katulad ka ng mga frontliners na nagpakabayani, nag-24-hour shift, nagbagsakan.
Actually, Sir Sito, this is my first time to go out of the house. Since I was, nag-positive kasi ako March 24, then nag-negative po ako April 14, confirmatory
birthday ko pa yun.
Birthday ko nun eh, no? Then April 19 po, yung confirmatory. And then talagang pasensya na kung nagpapacheck ko kami lagi, halos every 2 weeks. Kasi yung wife ko, ngayon eh, on the way, So talagang tiniis ko, for more than 1 month, di ko nakita yung mga anak ko, yung asawa ko, talagang mag-isa lang ako, nag-isolate ako. The good thing is, ultimo yung kasambahay ko, yung driver ko, security, walang nahawa sa akin. Sa staff ko, wala ring nahawa. Kasi responsable nga tayo. Kailangan alam natin yung ginagawa natin. Kasi ang nakakatakot dyan, Sir Sito,
Yeah.
more than 20-30% na nasa kalsada, baka asymptomatic just like me.
Exactly.
Hindi ko alam, Kumbaga ako, hindi ako takot sa sarili ko, yung asymptomatic. Hindi kami takot na mamatay pag nagkaroon. Kasi nga, malakas ang resistensya natin, Ang nakakatakot, may mahawa na kung mahina ang resistensya, may mahawa na kung matanda, na pwede niyang fatal, makakamatay.
At saka
Yun ang nakakatakot.
kada kaso na magkakaroon, nilalagay natin sa panganib yung kawawang nurse na pagod na, yung mga doktor na pagod na, tapos tayo gusto lang nating umikot. In any case, GM, alam ko busy ka, first day mo sa trabaho. May mga mabilis na katanungan lang, actually dalawa na lang. Yan bang decision ninyo dyan, bagamat recommendatory kayo, a lot of people are assuming what the MMC decides upon will ultimately be what will happen.
No, absolutely not. Sabi ko nga, we depend on the wisdom of the IATF. Kaya lang, ang maganda lang, pinapakinggan naman tayo. Kasi nga, ang NCR, siya ang center ng COVID at siya rin ang center ng ating ekonomiya. So, importante rito ang boses ng ating mga LGUs, sa ating mga mayors, dahil sila talaga yung nasa ground.
So itong araw na ito, si Presidente pa rin ang papasa ng krus.
Actually, today, I think IATF will be having a meeting. So all the inputs, papasok sa kanila yan. Ang IATF, kompleto yan. Magagalingan na dyan. May ekonomista dyan, may sa health dyan, may tourism, DTI, DILG, kompleto sila. So mas alam nila yan. So yung ano man yung i-recommend nila, definitely para sa ating lahat yan. Sa ikabubuti po natin lahat.
Okay, last question ko na lang. Nahihiya ako sa iyo, GM. Last question. Anong mga bagong ideas or policies ang pinag-aaralan nyo na ngayon at ipapatupad nyo? Kasi nabanggit mo yun sa LTFRB that EDSA will no longer be a pass-through lane route. It will be a route within itself. So mawawala na yung mga ibang bus na nakikiraan at nakikibuisit. So ano yung mga binabalak o pinag-aaralan nyo na gagawin?
Actually, it's more on the OTR's call kasi sabi ko nga enforcement tayo, no? But we support them 100%, ano? Yung sinasabi ko nga na ang EDSA sa liling ruta lang, baka sasabihin na tao, ang hirap naman yan, bababa, sasakay kami, bababa, sasakay, di ba? But we should remember, no? Nung ginawa yung dating design from north to south na ang lahat tumadaan ng EDSA, it take them 3 hours one way. Kaya yung turnaround nila, matagal. Pag ito, sineperate natin kanya-kanyang sector, mas bibilis mo ang biyahe nyo, no? At yung ating pong mga sasakyan, magkakasya. Tandaan natin pagka rush hour, punong-puno, walang masakyan. Kasi nga, lahat doon dumadaan, ang bagal ng turnaround. Pero kung paiksiin mo lahat ng ruta niyan, kanya-kanya silang sector. Let's say, EDSA, Monumento to MOA, okay na tayo dyan, ikot lang ng ikot. Mas bibilis yan yung connectivity niya.
Okay, paano yung yung mga stop kahit saan? Kasi isa pang
Wala
problema.
na po yan.
May natinig kasi ako na gagawin daw ninyo, wala nang mga stop kahit saan.
Ay, definitely po, no? Kailangan talaga, hindi na pwedeng sa kalsada ka mag-abang ng sasakyan. That's number one, no? Kailangan sa unloading base sa mga bus stops, dahil may physical distancing tayong dapat sundin. Kaya nga yung normal, I think, na rin to dito matututo talaga ng disiplina, no? Ilang taon na nating dilubyo ang mga walang disiplina. So, hopefully this time, no? May health issues tayo, siguro matatakot din sila, iingatan yung health nila. We will need yung physical distancing, we need discipline, we need the proper hygiene.
Okay. Well, request ko na lang, GM, kung may mga gagawin bagong solution, bagong ideas, please feel free to let us know. Alam mo naman na dito suportado namin ng MMDA. And thank you for this morning, GM.
Ay, maraming salamat po, Sir Sito. Anytime po, no? Mabuhay po kayo. Talagang maraming salamat po.
Please stay safe, stay strong, and stay healthy. God bless you, GM Jojo Garcia.
Thank you.
Okay, that's GM Justin Garcia and nalito na ako, Jojo Garcia. Now let's go to our news correspondent, Justin Punsalang, because Justin is, she's going to cover a lockdown. And Justin, are you there? I can see you. Can you hear me? Okay, I don't know if we have a slight delay.
Yes, ito. Magandang umaga sa iyo. Kanina ng alas 12 ng madaling araw nagsimula na yung lockdown dito sa Barangay Mauway sa Mandaluyong.
Okay. Justin, ano ang nakikita mong nangyayari dyan? At please lang mag-ingat ka, no? Dahil marami-raming kaso daw dyan. Medyo ayoko magbuwis buhay ka dyan.
Well, tama ka, Sito. Sa latest data mula sa Mandaluyong Local Government Unit, 71 ang total COVID-19 cases dito sa Barangay Mauway, kung saan 40 o 4 na po yung active. Bukod pa yan, dun sa 13 active cases naman sa National Center for Mental Health na sakop din ng Barangay Mauway. Actually, yan yung naging dahilan kung bakit nga nagpatupad ng 72-hour o 3-day lockdown dito sa barangay. Sito?
Okay, meron ka bang ideya o meron bang nasabi sa'yo kung maliban sa pagla-lockdown, ano ba ang magiging galaw ng pamahalaang lokal in terms of medicine or treatment, etc. Kasi okay, nila-lockdown mo, pero ano ba ang alalay sa mga nakatira dyan?
Well, Sito, kahapon naman yung deadline ng distribution ng SAP-A. So, yun ang isa sa mga ginawa ng local government ng Mandaluyong. At isa pa, simula sa araw na ito, hanggang dun sa May 13, bali 3 days yun, ay magkakaroon ng rapid testing sa mga residente. Ang target ng local government ng Mandaluyong ay magkaroon ng 1,500 na individuals na maisailalim sa rapid testing. Dito?
Okay, so magkakaalaman kung sino ang merong active case at makikita natin kung ano magiging resulta in a few days. Anyway, thank you very much, Justin, for that quick update. please take care, stay safe, and please keep your distance from that area kasi ayaw namin magkakasakit ang mga kapatid natin. Thank you very much, Justin.
Maraming salamat, Sito.
Okay, that's Justin Ponsalang. She's covering the lockdown in Barangay Mauay in Addition Hills in Mandaluyong, where they have 71 reported cases, and they basically will be under lockdown for the next 3 days or 72 hours, whichever comes first. In any case, we'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, more from our guests here on Agenda. You're back here on Agenda. You're back here on Agenda. And next up, we have the Chairman on Higher Education, Chairman Prospero de Vera III. Chairman, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Sito, at good morning to all your televiewers.
Okay, normally at this time of the year, we would already be hearing college and universities demanding for tuition fee increases. You will have the leftists and the activists howling bloody murder. And now we are a time and place where we are wondering ano na ang mangyayari sa ating edukasyon sa mataas na antas. Will there even be colleges, etc.? What's the situation, Chairman?
Well, the leftists are still howling, but the application for tuition was done in the first quarter of this year before COVID. And
Okay.
so, it has not been addressed by the commission. This is evaluated at the regions because of COVID, because of the shift in the academic calendar for most private universities, and
Yeah.
also because of the shift to flexible learning. Private universities now have to look at their tuition fee application and see if it is still what they want to do. Many of the private universities have already put on record that they're not increasing their tuition. Others are recalculating it because if you go to flexible learning, the computation of the activities of the students will necessarily change. So we expect that maybe in the next month or two, we will revisit back the tuition applications and see the position of individual universities of what they're going to do.
Yeah, because the general notion or the prevailing notion is that since there is practically no physical contact, assuming it's all online, plus there will be no air conditioning, no physical, no buildings to be maintained, etc., and etc. So the cost of education should be cheaper online. Now, from what I've heard, you are knowledgeable about online education. You have been espousing online education. Is that notion correct na cheaper, mas mura ang online education than the traditional physical in-building education for college and universities?
Sito, what I have been pushing is not online education, but flexible learning. Because flexible
Okay.
learning combines both online and offline, residential and non-residential. It is a system where you adjust the learning process to the condition of the students, the faculty, the capability of the university in terms of technology, and you adjust it. The idea is you decongest the classroom, you decongest the traditional residential setting, and mix it up so that you still achieve the learning outcomes without necessarily going through the 50 students per class ratio that you would have. Whether this will be cheaper, not necessarily, because the tuition increases that universities ask, 70% of that goes to the salary of the faculty. You still have to pay the faculty, so you still need to collect tuition. But what would change, for example, is if you used to do laboratories and you do flexible learning, you might not need to do all the laboratories in school. You will also, of course, reduce some of the costs of maintaining the university. A lot of the out of school, on the job training and internship of the students will have to change now because of the problem of COVID. And therefore, these are costs that the students usually bear through their tuition. So universities have to recalculate all of that when they apply for tuition fee increase, and when they run their universities when they open in August.
Okay, many of the universities in the Philippines are largely private, except for the state universities and colleges or SUCs. Now, how equipped or competent is the general population of mentors or faculty in terms of online teaching? Because, I mean, truth be told, I didn't discover home broadcasting or work from home until nagka-COVID-19. So I think it's only fair to assume na many of our teachers and mentors are also not techies or equipped to set up for home schooling or mentoring or as you said, flexi learning?
You will be surprised, Sito, by how many universities have been doing online learning before ECQ, how
Uh-huh.
many have been doing flexible learning before ECQ, and how many shifted to flexible learning during ECQ. I have always maintained in the meetings of the IATF that we must have different policies for K to 12 and different policies for higher ed, because
Mhm.
there are fundamental differences between the two when you approach the opening of classes. One, in
Okay.
K-12, you have about 28 million students coming back. In higher ed, you only have 2.9 million students. So the deluge of students coming back and the way you decongest classrooms is more challenging for K-12 than for higher ed.
You
Number
said,
two, yes,
Chairman, sorry, no, you said 2.8 million for higher ed?
2.9 million for higher ed and 28 million for
Yeah.
K-12.
So 2.9 million at any given time, or are these just new enrollees
No, this is for the
for
whole
the whole?
enrollment from first year to fourth year already.
Okay, and that's nationwide.
Yes, that's nationwide. And the third
Okay.
reason why you have to look at policies in K to 12 and higher ed differently is because many universities, many higher education institutions have already been doing flexible learning before ECQ.
Mhm.
So the
Mhm.
capacity to shift is much easier in higher education than in basic education. So some universities like Ateneo Davao, for example, said that starting next semester, they're going to do full online. They're holding summer full online. So many of them have capability. Not all. That's why we're pushing for flexible education. So
Mhm.
those that cannot transition immediately and have weak connectivity, they must be flexible in terms of adjusting their syllabus, adjusting the requirements, but achieving the same learning outcomes.
Okay, is the commission helping those colleges and universities who do not have the technology or the connectivity? Kasi like areas na mahina ang internet service and signals, I mean, you could probably invite Smart or Globe to go in there and to have a dedicated site for their universities or for their area. And then also for financial support in terms of buying equipment, etc. Do you have any program like that to help these universities to kind of get to level up, so to speak?
Yeah, I've been doing nothing but Zoom sessions during ECQC to talk to
Okay.
the universities. We already finished a very long discussion between DICT, CHED, and the 112 state universities and colleges. And we have rolled out through the ICT a system to measure the connectivity of each of the more than 300 campuses of state universities and colleges. The idea is you must first have a database on the connectivity so that the ICT and CHED can help. So that's one. The results of the connectivity should be out at the latest by this week. Number two, we've had learning sessions on the learning management system of universities that are already doing it. The private universities that are far ahead, they have learning management systems already. Many of them use proprietary systems.
Mhm.
They use Canvas and they use Blackboard. We had a learning session with the president of Mapua to talk to the presidents of the state universities on how they set up their learning management system. Mariano Marcos State University in Ilocos have a learning management system using free software. So they also discussed how they're doing it. We have already a
Can
system.
we?
Yes,
I hope you don't mind, Chairman. No, can we just backpedal a little regarding connectivity,
yes.
because it's really close to my heart. I experienced this a year ago, where I discovered that in a particular part of UP, I won't say kung anong satellite ng UP, uh, the students living in the dorm could not bring in their routers, could not get connection. They had to leave the campus para lang makapag-internet, etc. And now that you've mentioned state universities and colleges, can we not set a standard that requires all dormitories or facilities or what have you in the new normal na magkaroon ng connectivity? Kasi doon sa isang UP na yon, yung dorm na in particular, nasabi nila hindi kasi private yan, kasi personal yan. They couldn't even bring in a microwave or a electric kettle. And it just got so frustrating na aawa ko sa mga estudyante. So I think that standard coming from you would be highly appreciated.
Yes, we can do that once the data is in. Swerte pa sito na may konting signal. If you go to areas like Samar, for example, the cell phone signal changes from one municipality to the other. And in some of the main campuses of some state universities, it's like you're looking for gold, looking for a cell phone signal. But we must
Aakyat ka pa sa bundok o doon sa mataas na lupa, gaganon-ganon ka ng signal mo.
Parang naghahanap ka ng ginto, paikot-ikot ka doon sa campus, hinahanap mo kung saan may signal. But
Correct.
all of that will start with the data that is available because universities actually have money to improve connectivity. But maybe some of them don't know what is the best way to do it. That's why DICT is going to come in. So that, for example, your campus might be in a municipality that actually has connectivity, but you have not created a smart campus. You have not put the systems in place. Baka may
Exactly.
signal sa munisipyo, pero hindi mo alam kung saan nilalagay yung mga router mo, saan mo kukunin yung signal, and maybe the intervention is just that. And so DICT and CHED will help capacitate the universities to do this. Once that is available, then we can now require what you are saying, that there should be minimum strength in all the student facilities. So that will come in within the next 1 to 2 months.
Well, I tell you what, Chairman, abangan ko yung data mo, and let's discuss it here again on agenda because I really dream of the day when our state universities and colleges and our college students can be online at least half the time, and I support your advocacy of flexi learning, and thank you for your time today, sir. Abangan ka namin.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, Sito, that COVID had to happen for us to all realize this. I know you've been pushing for it. I've been pushing for it for a long time. It's like a voice in the wilderness for so long. People were not listening. So now COVID has simply said there is no other way to go but to do interconnectivity. So in that sense, I am happy that COVID happened.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Chairman, and please take care of yourself. Stay safe, stay strong, stay healthy, and God bless you, sir.
Thank you, Sito. Good morning.
Okay, that's Chairman Prospero de Vera III of the CHED, Commission on Higher Education. We will now go for our next guest. I believe our next guest is a governor of a province na nabisita ko na, si Governor Jose Riano of Romblon. Magandang umaga po, Governor Riano.
Yes, magandang umaga po, kasamang dito sa public service, Governor Riano po ng Romblon.
Okay, Gov, not many people get to visit the beautiful province of Romblon. Medyo nakapasyal na ako dyan. May nabisita ako naisama ako ng isang kaibigan kong tricycle driver many years ago. And I really know the potential of Romblon in terms of tourism, agriculture, etc. Pero ano na ba nangyari sa inyo in the light of COVID-19? Kamusta na po kayo dyan?
Ay sa awa ng Diyos po ay nakakaraos naman po kami at ito nga medyo malaking adjustment sa amin dito sa probinsya ng Romblon dahil from DCQ to DCQ, so may mga adjustment at daming pagbabago at sa awa naman Diyos kasamang dito ay COVID-free po kami dito sa province of Romblon as of now.
Okay, mabuti. Magandang balita po yan. Ngayon, kamusta naman po ang ekonomiya ninyo? Kasi siyempre, I know you depend or umaasa rin kayo sa palitan ng produkto at negosyo sa mga ibang isla. Ano ang naging epekto sa inyo dyan sa Romblon dahil yung mga kapitbahay nyo, may mga iba na nag-lockdown o nag-GCQ, nasaktan ba kayo o self-sufficient kayo dyan?
Sa ngayon po, medyo yung aming economic dito sa province of Romblon ay medyo gumanda ang situation dahil from GCQ to GCQ, no? Sige namin ay nalampasan natin ang hirap ng GCQ at malaking bagay para sa economy ang pagiging GCQ ng probinsya ng Romblon. At siyempre po, bukas na ang establishment, mga construction, kaya ang ekonomiya ay stimulated na muli, no? At ang apektado lang ay itong ating mga construction dahil nag-stop talaga, no, ang public and private, so it affected workers, contractual at ang mga beneficiation ng mga project. So farmers, later po, no, dahil walang mag-transport sila at shorter ang market hours o kaya mas mababa ang presyo ng kanilang mga huling isda at mga harvest, no? So ang tourism hanggang ngayon po ay prohibited talaga lahat ng activity. At yung itong plans and programs, development, rehabilitation, and recovery plan are being implemented gaya ng plan, program ng Department of Agriculture. And siyempre po, nabigay ng mga seeds, vegetable, at so mga fruit bearing. Namigay din kami ng mga tools galing sa provincial fund. May tractors kami for agriculture na pinapagamit namin na libre po at wala silang pinabayaran, no? Then yung fishery naman, nag-distribute tayo ng gamit pangisa, mga lubid, lambat, mga bangka na siyempre kapartner natin yung CIFAR. At yung tourism is prohibited now, but we are promoting marble product, no? Marami kaming orders for novelty items and tiles, no? Katunayan nga kasamang dito, maraming order, no? Yung pinalagyan ng ad. At maraming tulong din yan para sa probinsya ng Romblon.
Ayun,
so, ang marble industry at may transportation na to deliver papuntang Maynila. Kasi yung market ng aming marble ay in Manila and other provinces, no? So, makakatulong ito ng malaki sa pag-asenso ng muli, no? Pag-angat muli ng probinsya ng Romblon.
Okay. Maraming salamat doon sa update na yan, Governor. Huling katanungan ko na lang, nag-iintay pa kayo ng mga transport palabas. Meron naman bang nakakapasok na mga materyales, mga equipment galing sa labas, yung mga para sa construction ninyo?
So far naman po, ang unhampered naman po ang pagpasok ng cargos, mga cargo tracking, yung ating mga shipping line, ay tuloy-tuloy naman po. Kaya magandang balita din na talagang hindi tumitigil ang biyahe ng mga like itong mag-GCQ na kami, kailangan na natin itong construction material. Alam mo, kasamang dito, kami po ay nandito sa area ng Sieta, no? Yung geographically isolated disadvantaged areas.
Yeah.
Na ang biyahe sa amin ay para kulang talaga din tracking, no? Kasi roro. So, namin kung mga traffic namin pag walang karga na papuntang Manila ay hindi nagpabiyahe. So, ngayon, nag-open na itong aming mga carbon industry, then yung mga ibang establishment. So, ay tuloy-tuloy na ang
Ayun.
karita.
Okay, kasi may backload na yung mga trucks, so pumupunta na sila dyan.
Yes po, may backlog na kaya unhampered na po sila.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Governor Jose Riano. O kung baka meron kang message o panawagan sa mga tiga Romblon na nandito sa Metro Manila or sa national government, bigay ko po sa inyo ang pagkakataon.
Yun na, gusto ko lang ipalam din sa aking mga kabayan sa probinsya ng Romblon na nagpapasalamat ako sa kanila dahil COVID-free ngayon ang province of Romblon. Pero may mga, ito-share ko lang yung aming best practices kasamang dito, no? Kung bakit kami ay COVID-free sa province of Romblon. Early preparation, January 28, we already have a special committee for novel coronavirus for the management of COVID-19, no? So ngayon, may provincial interagency task force kami na regular kaming nag-uusap talaga kasi ang problema talaga sa dito ay dapat inupuan para ma-resolve, no? So, capacity building for the health workers, nag-seminar sila upang magkaroon ng mas malalim na kaalaman paano ba labanan ang COVID-19. So, meron tayo mga policies and guidelines para sa direction taken by the province, no? Executive orders, memorandum orders, health protocols, so, tulong ko dito yung aking congressman, Atty. Potoy Matuna, local state executive, no? Yung ating mga mayors, and national government agencies.
Yeah, so sa madaling salita, napaghandaan ninyo, Governor.
Yes po.
Okay.
And yung ating national government naman, so naman sila, ang CPS natin, meron, may ang national government ay
Okay, Gob, pasensya ka na. I have to pull you out kasi nagde-deteriorate yung signal mo. Pero maraming salamat po sa oras na binigay nyo. At least nalalaman namin na okay ang probinsya ng Romblon, okay ang mga mamamayan at kayo ay nasa GCQ na. Maraming salamat, Governor, and please stay strong, stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless you. Okay, that is Governor Jose.
Sa pagkakataon at para maiparinig natin sa ating mga kababayan ang situation, no? Updates ng province of Romblon. God bless us all po.
Okay. Yan po, si Governor Jose Riano ng Romblon. Sorry, I had to cut it short because the signal was just deteriorating. I don't know what it is about this time of day, particularly in provinces where the signal starts to dip. But in any case, let's try. Here in Metro Manila, let's go to Meralco because I heard that Meralco has some announcements regarding billings. Medyo ninenervyos na ako. So let's go to Joe Zaldarriaga, the official spokesperson of Meralco. Good morning, Joe.
Hi, good morning, Sito. Magandang umaga sa iyong mga tagapakinig at tagapanood.
Okay, siguro ang pinaka-importanting malaman ng mga viewers natin doon sa mga Meralco franchise area or territories yung nabasa ko na meron kayong anunsyo regarding yung singil ng Meralco or billing. Parang pinagsama nyo na, etc. Paano ba?
Well, ang Meralco, unang-una, Sito, nag-umpisa na kaming magbukas ng aming mga business centers noong May 7 and we will be fully operational by May 11. And yung mga customers kasi namin, marami din ang nagtatanong ano ba yung kanilang billings, no, nung Marso, nung Abril. Kasi marami din na ang gusto sana nila to be able to settle ahead of time. Pero bago yon ay nagkaroon na din naman ng anunsyo, batay na din sa guidance ng regulator sa amin, na yung mga bills ng Marso at Abril, kung hindi pa ito nasisettle ng consumer, ay maaaring hatiin sa 4 na beses. Ano? Ibig sabihin, Sito, for example, natanggap mo ngayon yung bill mo, option yan if you would like to settle it in full, but also makakatanggap sila ng bill na naka-indicate naman doon yung kanilang current na May bill, at yung April at March ay hahatiin sa 4 na beses para hindi naman masyadong maging mabigat para sa mga customers namin.
Oh, so kunyari, so March, April, so magbabayad ako ng May, pwede kong bayaran yung May, yung bill ng May, yung para sa Mayo, tapos
Hahatiin.
bahagi ng March, April.
Hahatiin yung March at April sa 4 na beses.
Sa 4 na beses.
Oo, batay na din ito, Sito, dun sa order sa amin ng Energy Regulatory Commission. Kasi kaya
Okay. Joe, can we have an actual example? So, March and April, sabihin na natin constant na lang, ano? 5,000 ang bill sa March, 5,000 ang bill sa April, tapos 5,000 ang bill sa May. Ngayon, paano yung gagawin do sa March and April?
Yung sa March and April, dahil 5,000 plus 5,000, di inabot ka ng 10,000 sa bill mo, hahatiin sa 4 yun. Simula June. So ang mangyayari niyan, 2-5 June, 2-5 July, 2-5 August, tapos 2-5 sa September.
Plus yung kinonsumo mo na dapat mong bayaran ng June, ng July, ng August, ng September.
Kasama na yung current. Kasi ito yung tinatawag naming naiwan na bills ng customers. Ngayon marami din sito nagtatanong, napansin nila, dahil yung iba nakakatanggap na ng kanilang bill, bakit daw ang taas nung current na May, no? Very simple explanation. Kasi yung April at saka yung March, ang naging batayan niyan sito ay yung previous 4 months average bill. Kung saan lalo na nung Pebrero at saka Enero, malamig yung panahon at mababa yung konsumo. Humabol ngayon nung Marso at April na naka-ECQ tayo, at nung nabasa na yung Metro, doon na pumasok yung actual consumption. Yung bills nung current ng Mayo really appears higher in terms of the kilowatt hour consumption. So normal lang yan, no, na sitwasyon sa kanilang billing. But aside, yun lang naman current, may option sila na current ng May ang bayaran, at yung arrears ng March at gayon din ng April ay hahatiin sa 4 na beses para hindi naman masyadong mabigat sa mga consumers ng Meralco.
Okay, pero hindi naman tumaas yung March or April per se. Kumbaga, average lang dahil hindi mabasa yung Metro.
Tama po. In fact, ang Mayo, Sito, bumaba yung ating, I'm happy to report, no, bumaba yung ating rates ngayong Mayo by 25 centavos per kilowatt hour dahilan sa lower cost ng generation o yung pagbili natin sa mga suppliers. At least kahit pa paano, sana ito'y makatulong din sa ating mga kababayan. At bukod dito...
Good. May nagtatanong, Joe, ito medyo pagbibigyan ko na lang ito kasi alam mo, umi-effort sila na kumontak sa akin directly. Hindi ko pa na-edit ito, boss, no? Babasahin ko na lang kagad dahil wala na tayong oras. Paano po kung mas malaki yung bill namin kaysa sa actual billing? Kasi ang ginawa ng Meralco is average consumption for March and April. Kasi po wala po kaming consumption for those months since we are stranded in our province.
Once na nabasa naman yung Metro na nila at nag-reflect doon na halos wala silang consumption, makikita naman diyan magkakaroon ng parang rebate sito. At the end of the day, magkakaroon ng ng reconciliation. Kung kinulang yung konsumo, for example, nung March at April, ibig sabihin napakababa, magre-reflect din naman yan dun sa May bill, kaya nga may mga May bills na tumaas dahil na lumabas na yung actual na kilowatt hour consumption. Conversely, kung mababa naman yung wala naman sila sa bahay nung Marso at Abril, at once nabasa yung metro, kunyari nabayaran nila yung Marso at Abril, magkakaroon naman ng parang tinatawag na rebate o lalabas doon yung babayaran nila ay napakaliit na.
Lahat ba yan automatic lalabas sa bill?
Yes. Ang pinakagiya dyan o yung parang pinaka-guide ay yung bill. At kung may katanungan sila sito, no, bukas na yung ating mga business centers. Alam ko, it's not a simple bill sa ngayon dahil napakadaming numero nakalagay doon. But so if they have questions at gusto nilang tanungin, ano yung specific line items na nandoon, maaari nilang isang gunian po sa amin. At yan ay aming tutugunan nang sa ganun maintindihan nila ng mabuti kung ano yung kailangan nilang isettle in terms of their electricity bills. At
Okay,
sito hindi lang...
yeah, go ahead.
Gusto ko lang din i-emphasize na bukod dito sa billings na information dissemination efforts namin, patuloy din kami na nagpapatupad nitong mga repair work sa ilang naming mga facilities na of late ay nagkaroon ng mga interruptions. So doon sa mga kababayan na tumatawag sa aming call center hotline at nagko-coordinate through providing us information through our social media platforms, patuloy ho yung mga restoration efforts namin sa mga areas na nagkaroon ng mga interruptions.
Okay, quick question lang, Joe. Yan bang
Yes,
mga
sir.
interruption na yan ay mga temporary incidents lang, isolated incidents, o tayo ba medyo kailangan ng mag-ingat-ingat at bumabagsak ang load? Kasi nagtataka naman yung iba, wala namang bukas na mga factory, walang bukas na mga mall, baka mamaya may problema.
Well, magandang tanong yan, Sito. Actually, ang nararanasan ng mga ibang customers natin ay yung tinatawag natin, tama ka, no? Yung isolated, localized. Kasi sumosobra yung taas ng demand lately dito sa mga residential areas, particularly sa mga kabahayan, no? Kaya minsan nasa stretch yung aming facilities, kung kaya't nagkakaroon ng localized trouble, nag-overload, no? Pero ito ay isa-isa natin at ginagawa natin yung corrective measures na kinakailangan. For example, yung mga transformer, kung kailangan ng palitan, pinapalitan namin. Kung kailangan split load sa ibang areas, yun din ang ginagawa natin to provide a permanent solution.
Okay, thank you very much, Joe Zaldarriaga. At ako ay makikick out na sa air. Okay, overtime. Thank you. Please stay strong, stay safe, and stay healthy, Joe. God bless you. And for all our viewers, please take care of yourselves. Try to cheer yourselves up and pray. God bless all of you. I'm Cito Beltran, and that's today's agenda.